Well, to be two capital G here, got some excellent but very short duels for you guys to check out because they are fairly short. I believe that there are going to be 3 of them in this video, and the first duel is actually going to not go exactly as I thought because I looked at this and I was like, okay, Lunalight's probably going to opt to go second. You're playing Red Reboot in the main deck just for, I guess, a little bit of extra spice against decks like Salaman, Greats, and Guru Control, and any other deck that runs purple cards in the main deck, but actually is going to go first. I don't know if he was forced to go first or what, and this is actually kind of like a more purist version of Lunalights, and when I say that, I essentially mean that there are no danger monsters in here. Anytime you see White Rabbit ran in Lunalights, which it does have to be like kind of normal summon for it to really get its effect of being like a Blackwing Blizzard, I think most double L players don't run this card because your normal summon usually has to be reserved for Kaleido Chick because it's like the heart and soul of the deck, so you don't really see it. And I think he is running a couple of Fire Fist cards in here. It would be nice if Konami gave us a little bit of information on when we might see the Fire Fist Link monster, because it is not just good in Fire Fist, but it's also really good in like Lunalights because it can kind of facilitate some of their plays. This was interesting, by the way. So he summoned, he actually put Lunalight Wolf on field and then simply bounced it to his hand. I thought that that was actually a pretty cool play, a way of essentially getting your Lunalight Wolf. The Danger version kind of struggles with that because usually they'll have to kind of, you know, either search it from, I guess, like the Lunalight Perfume, or they'll just have to like dump it in the graveyard and then add it with Black Sheep. But he is actually going to make a pretty solid board here with the Evil Swarm Nightmare. And yeah, you see the Time Thief Redoer banish itself of its own effect. Usually when you see that, you think of Azathoth, but this is not a rank up card. That is still that Red Reboot. The good thing is, since he said it, he doesn't have to pay half his life points, so it's a little bit of a weird play, and he got lucky. He ended up taking a spell. Now, I have no idea why his opponent is blindly going after his Pendulum Scales, because if you've ever read Lunalights, you know that Tiger actually floats when it's destroyed. So basically, you're just giving him a Monster Reborn. So he actually just going to summon back the Yellow Martin. His opponent does try to summon that Garuda, the Wind Spirit, I believe it is, and that's just going to get put face down. And you know you're in a very bad position, almost certainly if your opponent, well, I don't even know if your opponent really needs to drop Leo Dancer, but he is just going to give this guy everything. Like, seriously, it's morphin time at this point, because he's going to go off. All of the MXC monsters are basically going to be turning into Link monsters, not just summoning the Mech Knight Crusadia Astrum, which I believe is going to be one of the most impactful cards out of Dark Neostorm. He says, Cap, I'll summon another Link 4 coming out of Dark Neostorm. Goes for the Ambro Well. So yeah, summoning 2 copies or 2 Link 4s in one turn. Now, we knew that he was almost certainly going to be able to drop at least 1 copy of Leo Dancer, but I think at this point he's like, you know what, it's a party, I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna activate Wolf again. Let's just summon 2 copies of Leo Dancer, because who doesn't need 14,000 damage? Actually, I believe this is 14,200 damage between the double Leo Dancers, because they can both attack twice, and he does happen to have a Tenki on field. But he's not done with that. He says, I'm going to just summon Firewall Exceed Dragon just for the hell of it. And just based on these guys right here, I think I calculated this at like around 21,000 damage. That's with obviously the Mech Knight Crusadia Astrum simply attacking into his opponent's monster, which we already know what that is because he flipped it face down to begin with. So that is just absolute overkill. And yeah, he has pretty much like way more damage than he would ever need. Even if that was a tag duel with 16,000 life points, his opponent would have been eviscerated. Well, both of his opponents would have been eviscerated. Anyway, second duel sees Dinowrestlers facing off against Skull Servants, and Skull Servants open with Pot of Extravagance. I am in love with that card ever since I started playing it. I gotta build a Trickstars that plays it, and oh my god, anytime I see it in my opening hand, I'm just like, this card is ridiculous. Best card in the deck. This was kind of cool. He's gonna go straight for the Dinowrestler Synchro Monster. I think that this guy comes out in Dark Neostorm, and it's actually a really good card. I wish you could like make it with Pankatrops somehow, because I mean, you technically can, but I think Pankatrops like a level 7, and I mean, you need like a Dino Tuner to summon it. It's good because it's 3,000 attack. It's basically an Armades, and then on top of that, you can target one of your opponent's monsters, destroy it, and then this card also has protection, because if it's destroyed by card effect or battle, you can destroy another monster. So this card actually has 3 effects on it, and it's actually like all 3 effects are pretty good. He's gonna drop the Conductor Tyranno. I don't know why he didn't just pop the Unizombie before attacking, but he's gonna be super punished here by the White Princess, which essentially essentially is going to debuff him by the or equivalent to the levels of monsters that he has. Both of his monsters unfortunately have levels, no exceeds, no links. He's going to summon King of the Skull Servants, which gets flipped face down, but his opponent says no problem, I'm just going to go ahead and creature swap. I think he was going to give him the lesser of two evils here. Really, there is not a good choice between these two monsters. If he gives them the synchro, the Dinowrestler is synchro, he can simply just pop the ultimate conductor Tyranno and still attack. And if he gives him the conductor Tyranno, he gets to attack a face down monster and still attack over this guy. So it's like neither one of them is really a good. I would have probably just given him the conductor Tyranno. He pops the conductor Tyranno, then he's gonna go for Bury over different dimension. He has Monster Reborn, so I could see him easily dropping 2 King of the Skull Servants this turn. And that's exactly what he's going to do after he runs over the one that is currently being set. Keep in mind, King of the Skull Servant, his attack goes through the roof, but the defense of the card never actually changes. Zombies are known for having 0 defense, and a lot of times that doesn't actually change, so he just pulls another one from his deck, and that's just going to be a pretty easy peasy right there. His opponent never was really able to drop that Pankratrops. If you guys are wondering why he didn't summon it, if he would have summoned the Pankratrops, then he would not have been able to summon the other, I think level 5 Dinowrestler, because you have to have no monsters to summon it. So I mean, he could have summoned it and I guess had disruption, but then he would have never been able to like drop the synchro. Or I think he also needed the dinosaurs in the graveyard to summon the ultimate conductor Tyranno. So it's just one of them situations where he couldn't drop everything. Now our final duel takes us to a match that features agents at the bottom, which somebody's apparently trying to bring agents back in 2019, facing off against Burning Abyss. I would heavily favor Burning Abyss in this matchup under pretty much any circumstances, and Burning Abyss are going second as the deck naturally wants to. I believe his opponent is just going to open up with Earth, get a Surge, Sanctuary of the Sky, and then he's going to set a Solemn Strike. He's going to walk straight into the Strike. Nothing you could really do about that, but it's kind of good for Burning Abyss, because getting 1,500 life points for your normal summon is actually kind of worth, especially if you can get still the Burning Abyss Dante on field. And this was really nice. So he manipulated his graveyard by pulling out Edge Imp Sabers, and that allows him to drop Dark Arm Dragon. Since we know he has 3 darts in the graveyard, he can pretty much clear his opponent's entire field. Now this is what I don't get. I have no idea if he just didn't do the math right here, or maybe he just kind of forgot. I mean, how could you forget you have Tsuchinoko in your hand when it's literally the only card in your hand? He could have simply activated it. We know that it's going to be the card that he discards because it's the only card, and he could just put it in attack mode and simply attack for game. What is he afraid of, like Gores or something like that? I don't know why he doesn't drop that, because he would have had game by I think about 100 life points here. So for some reason he does not do that, and he leaves his opponent with 1,200 life points. His opponent top decks a Regeki, which actually is not that big of a deal because he has Seer and Dante both about to trigger. The thing is, he left his opponent with those life points, and he knew his opponent had Venus. Like, you're trolling, man. He's gonna allow him to get 2 searches right here, and then he can start link summoning, he can start dropping Master Hyperion and Christia. Wouldn't you know that that gave him exactly 4 fairy monsters in the graveyard, because we knew that he did use the Zeratus earlier in the turn to search the Sanctuary of the Sky. We knew he had the Earth, and then obviously the 2 copies of Shine Ball. That is so unfortunate. And he did actually remove 1 to summon the Master Hyperion, which was the Venus. That is just, I think this guy is actually just trolling. So he's going to get another Sanctuary of the Sky. He's going to probably blow up his opponent's Dante. Doesn't matter what he adds to the hand, and now this guy is basically able to just turn the duel. Now he isn't able to OTK, but that's not because he misplayed, that's because he just didn't have the damage. His opponent is on 100 life points, so can he run the duel back after he stupidly left his opponent with 200 life points instead of just killing him? I don't think so. Nope, he top decks a Destrudo, and that is a wrap. Burning Abyss, not exactly the best deck to try to top deck against Archer or Christia. To be honest, there are not a lot of good decks, except maybe like Sky Striker that wouldn't have a problem with it. But maybe if he was at full life points, it would have been a little. No, even if he was at full life points, I'm not really sure what would have mattered. Even if you set the Furfa and your opponent attacks into it, so what? I mean, yeah, you get to stop an attack at that point, but the Christia is just coming back in the end phase, and you don't actually deal with that problem. Even something like Alec wouldn't have actually been useful, because Alec would have negated it, but only during their turn, and then, you know, during your turn, the effect would have turned back on. He basically would have needed something something random like Twin Twisters, and Burning Abyss doesn't play that because they play Seconds Lights. Anyways, those were just the 3 duels. Hopefully you guys enjoyed them. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already. This video has been brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/G. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your Apple or Android device. Cancel anytime with no obligations. I'm listening to The Amazing Wrestling for My Life by Shawn Michaels. Link in the description.